Welcome back to Applied Physics lecture series. Quantum Mechanics, lecture 6, Davison and Germer experiment. We know de Broglie's hypothesis. According to the de Broglie's hypothesis, every material particle, example electron, is capable of exhibiting wave nature. We know very well electrons are the particles. They can able to behave like waves when they are involved in the motion. So that is, when the electrons are traveled with certain velocity, they can able to exhibit wave nature by exhibiting the phenomena of diffraction, interference, and polarization, etc. So de Broglie used the word electron waves. We know very well electrons are particles, but they can able to behave like waves. That's why electron waves word came into the picture. But de Broglie's hypothesis is completely related to the assumptions, and of course, he provided with some mathematical relation. But the first experimental evidence for the de Broglie's idea of matter waves, that is, electron waves term, was introduced by the scientists Davison and Germer. In fact, we are having two experimental supports for the de Broglie's hypothesis. First one is Davison-Germer experiment in the year 1927, and a year later, G.P. Thomson also provided experimental evidence for the de Broglie's hypothesis. If we see the Davison-Germer experiment, the main points in the Davison and Germer experiment are waves exhibits diffraction, and hence, if de Broglie's hypothesis is valid, then the matter waves should exhibit diffraction effects. In the year 1927, Davison and Germer observed the diffraction of an electron beam incident on a nickel target material. The experiment provided a convincing proof of the wave nature of metal particles like electrons. And if you observe the experimental setup that was done by the Davison and Germer, so in this experimental setup, we are having an electron gun which is having a filament F connected to a battery B1, which produces a collimated beam of electrons. Collimated beam means so a fine pencil system of electrons. If the width of the electron beam is reduced, as a result, sharper is the interference. That is the purpose of making electrons into a collimated beam of electrons. And if you observe anode A, which is connected to the variable voltage source named as B2 in this diagram, which accelerates the electrons. As a result, electrons, they can able to move very fastly, and they are coming out of the electron gun, and they will incident the target material, which is placed exactly in the path of electrons. These electrons are scattered by a nickel crystal. So already I mentioned, this is the obstacle which is placed exactly in the path of electrons. And this crystal can be rotated about an axis. The number of electrons scattered by the crystal in different directions. That is, when the electrons are coming out continuously from the electron gun, and those are accelerated with the help of anode by giving certain amount of accelerating voltage, such a fast moving electrons are scattered by the crystal, which is placed in the path of electrons in all possible different directions. And the electrons are travel towards all possible directions. We can able to collect with help of a detector called as Faraday cylinder, and the detector can be moved on a circular scale, which is connected in between the electron gun and the target material. In the experiment, the intensity of the scattered electron beam is determined as a function of a scattering angle. And it was found that for the accelerating voltage of 54 volts, the electrons are scattered with more pronouncedly at an angle of 50 degrees with the direction of incident beam. Maximum angle indicates that electrons are showing maximum diffraction. You know very well, so diffraction is the phenomena of wave aspect. Therefore, electrons are exhibiting the phenomena of diffraction, means they can able to behave like waves. The rows of atoms at the surface of nickel crystal acts like diffraction grating, and the de Broglie waves associated with the electrons undergo direction, that means diffraction, when incident on the crystal. If you observe in this diagram, so we are having different planes, and all the planes are separated with some uniform distance of separation called as interplanar distance of separation. So once the incident beam, that is electron beam, incident on a target material, we will notice the diffraction from the first atomic plane, second atomic plane, third atomic plane, like that. And the distance of separation between any two successive planes is uniform. So that is known as interplanar distance of separation. The incident beam make a glancing angle theta of 50 degrees with the family of back planes. So the spacing of the planes D in the nickel crystal is determined by using the extra diffraction as 0.91 degrees, 0.91 angstrom units. Here, the electrons are exhibiting the phenomena of diffraction. Therefore, it has to obey the Bragg's law of diffraction, which is nothing but n lambda is equals to 2d sin theta. And if you substitute the values, d as 0.91 angstrom units and theta as 50 degrees, therefore we will get the wavelength experimentally here 1.65 angstrom units. And we have to measure the wavelength of the same electrons theoretically by using the de Broglie's hypothesis, and we know that de Broglie's wave equation as lambda is equals to 12.27 by square root of v in angstrom units. Here the accelerating voltage applied to the electrons travel fastly towards the target material nickel is 54 volts. Therefore, by substituting such a 54 volts in the expression of de Broglie's wave equation, we will get the wavelength of electrons measured theoretically according to the de Broglie's wave equation is 1.6466 angstrom units. And experimental value according to the diffraction equation is 1.65 angstrom units. And a theoretical value of wavelength measured from de Broglie's hypothesis is 1.66 angstrom units. Both are almost equal. As a result, the values obtained experimentally using Bragg equation and de Broglie's equation are well in agreement. Hence, Davison and Germer experiment gave the conclusive evidence that electrons exhibit the phenomenon of diffraction. As a result, electrons, they can able to behave like waves. So in this way, there is a solid proof for the de Broglie's hypothesis in the form of experimental evidence that was given by the scientists Davison and Germer.